Go Ladies Lounge Health and Wellness Show.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day it is when you're listening to this podcast episode. We're back at the Ladies Lounge podcast. I am your host, Chido. I have my co-hosts here today, Praise and Kuzi. It's a full house. How are you doing, guys?
Hot and exhausted, but good.
Climate change, hey?
Yeah.
That's the in thing, right? So today we're going to be diving into a topic that resonates with a lot of women. I feel like, okay, the modern woman, more like, can a woman have it all? The challenges of a modern woman. So let's unravel this together. What I want to know from you guys is, what is your definition of having it all? What does that mean, especially in this modern day that we're living in?
Are you sure you want to hear my response?
I want to hear your response.
That's a loaded question.
Okay, maybe
question.
it's not a one size fits all. Yeah, but I would like to know what that looks like for you.
For me, okay, I'm very ambitious, I think. What I would have wanted, obviously, is like, for me, what the total package looks like is, having a family. So having a partner, having children, having a career that is like, I am
Booming.
That is booming, whether I'm in leadership, whether I've got a thriving business. I also still want to be able to have friends, maintain the connections that I have, and then also, to look good. I won't throw in any names, but the streets are hot, so I also have to look good, so that for my significant other and for myself. So putting all of those together, and then other things like, being spiritual. So I want the whole package.
Wow. Yeah. I feel like on any level, that's what a typical woman would want. Like, I want to have it all: career, family, business, personal fulfillment, friends, connections, all of those things. So when I was 20, I won't tell you how old I am now, but you can do the math.
Yeah.
When I was like 24, thereabouts, I just finished college, I had a whole list. I had a whole thing, like, by 26 I'll be this, by 27 I'll be married, by 28 my firm will be taken off, I can be a part-time mom and part-time in my business, I'm thriving, I'm looking good, I'm going to the gym, I'm doing school run, all of those things. And then now like sort of like 10 years later, so I want to know, have your ideals, like when you talk about having it all, evolved at all over time? And how have you done that? Have you been able to just like adjust the list or adjust the plan, or has it been sorely disappointing and you're like, I'm giving up on having it all?
Oh, well, I remember I asked you, do you really want to hear my response? Because right now I'm so exhausted, like I'm really tired. I have a little baby, and trust me, she's very efficient at keeping me up. And I also want to come to work, I want to earn the dollar, and I also want to try and have a side hustle at the same time. And I have a spouse who has his own demands as well. So I have to figure a way to balance. Oh, and an elder at church. So it's like a cocktail, and everyone wants a piece of what I can provide. Not a piece of me. I cannot give any piece of me, but of what I can do. So at the end of the day, a woman can have it all, but it comes at a cost. It comes at a very high cost to the woman herself, and also to the people around her, because sometimes you have to really be very strict with your boundaries to say, you know what, I want to achieve this, and that means I have to cut off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Social circles dwindle, families as well, family circles dwindle. So at the end of the day, but at a high cost.
So would you say this is the normal evolution of a woman's life?
Yes.
Is this normal, or can we do something about it?
I think, like, when you first mentioned the word evolution, I think linking to what Praise is saying, you have to, at some point, sometimes during your journey, you have to adjust your goals, adjust your priorities, and that's evolution in a way. I'll give an example of myself where okay, so I learned in South Africa, so the degrees are like broken up a little bit more. So you do your undergrad, then you do honors as a whole complete another degree, then masters. So I really thought my trajectory was going to be like, okay, after bachelor's, then do honors, then do masters. But I found my honors degree so taxing. Like, it was a lot. I was in med school and it was really intense, and we were doing dissertations. I came out there like, no. I'm not going straight into masters, right? So I had to agree with myself that it's okay for me to not do my masters right now. Let me give myself time to recover from school, from that intense period. And also, I wasn't sure, like, I didn't want to just run into doing another degree I wasn't really sure, like, where do I want to go, what will the degree give me, like, what do I want to study, how do I want to evolve in my career. So, and I made peace with that, and that's something I think we struggle with as women. Like, once you've changed your goal, once you change your priorities, once you're evolving, like, you have to make peace with it. Like, yes, I can't go around saying I've got a master's, because it comes with some swag, but I had to evolve, and in that area I was okay, but in other areas it becomes difficult now, accepting that evolution.
True. And it's not only you accepting the evolution, it's the people and expectations around you, because family is, you go to primary, secondary, college, you have to do a master's. You have to keep going. But life is not like that sometimes. It's, you have to take a pause sometime, and then you get married, and then the husband comes in and is like, you know what, we want a family, and school becomes secondary to whatever that's happening. So it is taxing.
I think we'll speak on that, because we definitely need to acknowledge that there's things that affect our journeys as the modern woman, especially our culture, like our class, our personal values, and
black
family
tax.
values, black tax, all of that. I'll speak from my experience and say I'm not a young mother yet, but I did have a plan, and I had to evolve into, maybe your journey doesn't look like what you thought it was going to look like, and that's okay. Like Kuds was saying, you have to have a conversation with yourself and accept certain things, like, okay, you're 30 something, you're still not married, but there's other things that you still also want to do. And let me tell you, social cultural pressures are still there, because people are like, you did school, you have a career, but like, we want grandkids and blah 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 and etc. And in the way I've evolved is, I feel like I need to live my life to the fullest before I'm married, before I have children. Yes, children are a gift from God, thank you Jesus, but to be honest, from seeing other people, they drain the life out of you, and sometimes you don't have time for yourself. And my journey now has evolved into, okay, I want to live the best of my life right now, and then when I do meet my spouse, then we can take it from there. But I've like done everything that I want to do, but that's still like a big thing, because like Kutsu was saying, there's school, and there's constantly, like, the bar is always going up. Hey, yes, I've done these postgrad whatevers, and I'm doing school now, and now I want to start my masters, but like the bar is always going up. So I feel like evolution will still come with the same pressures, and we need to manage that pressure on every angle. Whew, that was a mouthful. Praise, you wanted to say something.
I hope, or I wish, it's just a wish, that someday we'll just talk about this topic where we talk of the social pressure thing, because there's this notion or whatever pressure that being married and having children, it's like an achievement. If you don't have that, you haven't done anything, no matter how learned you are. So I hope we'll talk about it sometime.
Yeah. I think something else that stood out from what you're saying, Chido, I feel as young women now, I think we could have benefited from having these conversations with older women who are in it already, right? Because what you're saying is, I think people give an outward experience, like what we see on social media, like this is what a family unit looks like, or this is what a career woman looks like. But I feel like we need to have more conversations, even with the generations coming after us. Like, let's really sit down and be open and honest about what's going on in people's lives. Because I also feel the ironic thing is, once you have a certain set of things, right, you actually also start to regret, like, I wish I had done
That's
so,
very
right?
true. That's
So
very
if
true.
I had maybe a little bit more insight from an older auntie or sibling or friend or someone, like, maybe I could have done more as well before I'm at this stage of my life. So those, like, this kind of podcast, like, I think we just need more insight.
Yeah.
Like, I did travel, I did school, but I wish I'd done it more.
I hope someday somebody
I
will
wish
come
I
up,
had done it more intensely, right? And I think we definitely need to have more of these conversations.
True.
Is it possible that we can have an invitation someday of someone who can come with
We're
different
gonna
views?
we're gonna look into that and find a guest who can give us another perspective. I would love that, actually. But if you were not at our launch of this podcast, we did a little event thingy where we're wearing purple and looking nice. There is an episode on YouTube flighted out right now on our launch, and some of these questions were addressed by our older colleagues who've got more experience, who've got more life experience as well. So go and check that out as well. We are going to take a short break. We're back at the Ladies Lounge podcast. I'm with Praise and Kudzi, and we're talking about the challenges of a modern woman. We're talking about, can a woman have it all? And I just have this question that I've been holding in for most of this episode. Why is this question predominantly asked about women and not men? The conversations that I've had with people is, can women have it all? But I've never heard someone say, can men have it all? Why is that?
Not that we want to offend
Any
the other half of society. I think it just comes back to where we are still, and not just in Zimbabwe, globally. It's still heavily that horrible word, patriarchal society, right? Where it's still a man's world. So I think the expectations for men and women is vastly different.
Yeah.
For men, I think it's still, they are the provider, and provision for man is seen as financial. That's the main kind of provision. Financial, in some aspects, some are pushing more for the man to be like the spiritual head as well of a family, but it's still financial. But traditionally for women, now you are the home person, so the man maybe builds or buys the home, but the woman makes it the home. So it's the emotional aspect, it's like the day-to-day, like what are people eating, what are people wearing, is everyone okay, is everyone sick? That all falls on the women. But I think now women have also evolved where now we've got careers. So you're doing kind of what the man is doing, having a career, providing financially, but there's still this expectation to do everything else at the home. But that pressure is not there for the man. I think those who've moved out of Zimbabwe, maybe their experiences are now changing, right? But here in Africa, I still feel it's heavily, if the man goes to work, that's it. He's at work. He doesn't have to worry about anything, right? He can be at work until 8 p.m. I'm at work but I'm already thinking, what are people eating for supper? The kids need to get ready for bed. But I'm still typing out a report. Right? My boss still has his expectations of me on the job. So our society is not, I don't think it's moving at the speed at which we would want it to move to equalize the responsibilities of a life between a man and a woman. It's still heavily skewed on the woman, that she takes on a lot more than the man.
What time do you go for work?
I go for work the same time. 8. I have to be at work. You see, I have to wake up 2-3 hours before I have to be at work. Right? Because I have to prepare.
Exactly. And you have to iron his clothes. And after that, you have to do the bag. And then you go back. To work. You come back, what do you have to do?
Because it's also seen as taboo for some people. Like, I think some people are still in these roles where, if let's say your mother-in-law is with you at home, then she sees her son washing dishes, washing the kids, doing the bed, ironing. It's just like, where's your wife? Why is she not doing these things?
You gave my son Muti.
Yes. Yes, you gave him something to eat so that he
just obeys you and does whatever you want.
Yes, he's not as smart as he used to. So I don't know if the experiences are different for other people, but from the women I have engaged with, from my own family members, from friends, from cousins, it's the same setup. It's the same setup.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm not married yet, and here I'm thinking,
It's a very wonderful experience. We don't want to deter you from it.
Yeah,
please.
But I do get societal pressures. You go to a family gathering, everybody's expecting the women to just up and go cook, and then do the dishes, and everybody's having a party. Everybody's having the time of their lives. We're planning the menus. We're not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but I just feel like Kuzu was saying, society is not evolving with us. Some of these things are not gender specific. Exactly. These are life issues for everybody. A man and a woman have to eat. A man and a woman have to bath. And a man and a woman have to wear clothes. A man and a woman have to live in a clean house. And I feel like I have met, of course, there's now a number of parents that are now teaching their children, their male children specifically, that chores are not gender specific, which we love. We really do love that. But I feel like we're still way, way back when, our mothers used to stay at home because they're the homemakers. They don't go to work. But now, society, has changed. Economics have changed. We now have to both come together and see how do we both contribute to make this house a home.
Exactly.
And I feel like, that's some of the pressures that we definitely face as the modern woman. Okay, I was going to talk about the historical context, but I think we've already talked about that. There's now definitely a shift in gender roles because I'm also going to work, and way back when in the 1980s, that was not a thing. And even the jobs that women would get, if you're very learned, you're a secretary. If you're not, you're a housemaid. So again, still there was that boundary where you do not cross this because you're supposed to do this as a woman. But I feel like now that's shifting into, I can be a boss lady, I can drive a Jeep, I can be a head of like 100 men, and still things move accordingly. And I feel like that shift now has to also happen in perception, in culture, and in all of these things. Also, women, there's a lot of women in the workforce now, more than men actually, most of the time. Like in an organization, there's about 52% as compared to 48% women to men, sorry. So that's also like a shift, and we just need to, as a collective of people, change our minds about what women are supposed to do and etc. That's my own perception as a single person. Opinions are allowed.
We
Please
agree.
put that in the comments. Tell us what you think, and let us know what you'd like us to talk about. So let's talk about the challenges of the modern woman now. Like you said, we've got a lot going on. We'll start with workplace issues. Do you feel like there's gender inequality when it comes to definitely things like leadership and all of those things? I still feel like, yeah, we're getting there. I can see there's a lot of things happening. Yeah, that we've got women vice presidents and all of that in Africa, which is great. We're doing well. I feel like in the workplace we can tighten it a little bit more. What do you guys think?
Definitely. I think one of the things that could definitely improve is the pay gap. I think that is still there. I don't think it's a myth. I think, especially in higher positions, I don't know if it's our lack of power to negotiate better, right? But I still think maybe it's the agreeable nature of women. But I think we definitely need to fight for better packages, as it were, especially at the top. I think we also had made some strides with COVID, but I think we need to have more flexible work hours and work like arrangements, right? To really, and I think men can also benefit from this, right? I think a lot of them miss out on their children and their activities and all of that. But if businesses are willing to be more flexible, like, can I take a 2-hour lunch break so I can either do school run, take them for an activity, or can I finish a bit earlier to go watch like a cricket match or soccer match? And then we should just be looking at the matrices. Am I still delivering? If I am not seen in the office for 2 hours, is that a train smash? Right? I can still get my work done. I can still be productive, and if anything, you're even more productive actually when you really work out that, okay, I'm removing 2 hours here, but I can make it up here, or I work more efficiently. So I think we just need our companies and workstations and HR, we're talking to you, please listen. I think we need a little bit more leniency for people with families, but I think everyone actually, because you can be single and still have family obligations, right? And 2 hours here, 2 hours there, I don't think it's going to derail the whole company. So I think we need to have more conversations with like people in culture, human resources. Like, can we work on the flexibility? Is that a possibility?
Is that a thing?
It's true.
Because definitely I feel like if most of the workforce is women and they have these certain responsibilities, we can come together to find a solution. Do you not trust me and my skill set that I will still get the job done and still be the woman that I need to be in my life? In actual fact, if I am balancing work and life, I am a healthier person because I feel like I can do it all. So I am doing it all because I have these people supporting me, knowing that being a woman, just being a woman, is actually a big task.
And I think we need to also practically start putting policies in place, because it seems like some organizations, they'll listen to policies. So we have to advocate for these to become to a greater extent, even the law of the land. I mean, great work was done with breastfeeding, your 3 months off and then your breastfeeding hour up until 6 months. But, we need to do more, right? I know where we are in Zimbabwe, but some countries, they get a year maternity leave and then another 6 months or a year of, either half pay and or you can do part-time, and I think we just need to be more flexible. So even our policies need to reflect flexible working hours. What does that look like? And yes, we're talking about modern day women, but even things like paternal leave, because that helps to support you now in reaching your goal. If your partner is also able to have time off and all of those things. So if they're not going to be nice about it, then we should advocate to have it as policies in the workplace to support whatever decisions you've decided to make for yourself.
We definitely do need support for working mothers.
Yeah.
Because imagine you've got, sorry to the singles and no children yet, but you will get there, and you'll get to see that sometimes it's a struggle leaving the baby crying because she's not feeling well or he's not feeling well.
Exactly.
But you have an obligation to be at work at a certain time, and you cannot leave to take them to the clinic. So it becomes very stressful on the mind, and usually you don't even perform well at the workplace because you're making a lot of mistakes, you're distracted. But if you just got that 1 hour to rush and take them to the hospital, they are okay now, you just come back, your mind is all open, and you actually become more productive. So support for women is really a requirement. The policies you're talking about, they're very crucial, and I hope that we evolve to that stage.
Again, we're not disputing that there has been good work that has already been done when it comes to policy making, when it comes to supporting women. We're just saying, as the modern woman, I think as time evolves, as culture evolves, as economies and societies evolve, maybe we can do a little bit more as well in terms of supporting women who've got many different roles that they play. And this is only one person who has to cut themselves into pieces, because people will not stop being sick whilst I'm at work, I'm in Aurora somewhere. My mother-in-law will not stop calling me because I'm at work. My child will not stop going to school because I'm at work. Do you know what I mean? So, not saying that this doesn't also pertain to men, but the demographic we're representing here is women. So we're going to talk about women. We definitely need to see more progress, and I hope that we can find some way to be the policy changers. We can find some way to be involved in these conversations when it comes to probably a national level, a regional level, or whatever else that needs doing. Thank you so much for coming through. Until next time, bye-bye.
Ago Ladies Lounge Health and Wellness Show.